Hey guys, it's Julius and welcome back to the channel. Do you have money saved up and you're wondering where to put it so it can begin working for you? In this video, we're going to break down different places you can invest your money so it can begin working for you. Coming up. So let's say you have money that is sitting around and you're wondering, should you put in a savings account, checking account, invest it, or should you just keep it as cash? Now, it can be difficult to know where to store your money, especially if by you putting it in your bank account, you are getting nothing in return. Now, there comes a time when you need to put money in your savings account, but before you do that, you need to ask yourself, when do you need this money? Savings account will typically pay more interest than checking accounts, but not as high a rate of return as you can achieve in other types of accounts. Now, the average interest rate across the country is around 0.84%. For example, if you have money that you know you won't need for a certain period of time, you can usually attain a higher interest rate on a certificate of deposit, which are also known as CDs. For money that you want to grow over the long term, investing in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs can provide a higher rate of return. And this comes with some additional risk. And that's why it's wise to save yourself money in your savings account. And that's money that you can't afford to lose. But savings account won't be a great place for money that you want to grow for over a long time. So a friend of mine, actually, I think that was 2 weeks ago, we were having a conversation. And he asked me that he's tired of making crappy return on the money that he's keeping in his savings account. Now, you see, that's a problem, because if you're putting your money in your savings account, which is giving you 0.85%, your money is not even keeping up with inflation. So basically what he was trying to ask was, where can he put his money so that he can see some return? Now, since I'm not a financial advisor, I don't tell people what to do with their money. Rather, I would tell them what I would do if the money was mine. Usually, I'm going to ask myself, what's the money for? In other words, where to invest your money depends on how soon you're going to need this money back. Now, for the money that I'm going to need now, first I have to make sure that I can't lose it and it's easily accessible. For instance, your emergency savings account, right? And usually I call that a rainy day fund for unexpected expenses, illnesses, or when you lose a job. Because of how quick you're going to need that money, it's unwise to invest the money in the stock market, because you need the money immediately. Now, for instance, your emergency savings account, or call it a rainy day fund for unexpected expenses, illnesses, or job loss, belongs in a regular old savings account. Now, online accounts pay slightly better than regular bank accounts, but this money isn't for earning returns, and you don't need to think that you're going to get rich through a savings account. But this money is meant for that day when you need it. See, rather it's for security in case you lose your job or get sick and you need to take care of yourself and your family as you get back on your feet. Now, Warren Buffett has been known to keep a rainy day fund of around 20 billion. Which you don't need to keep. That's a lot of money. Now, he's hardly making anything on that cash in today's economy. But in his own words, he sleeps well at night. You see, usually not having money for emergencies is going to lead you into debt. Let's say you lose your job and that was the only source of your income. Chances are high that you are going to have to borrow money to get by until you can find another job. And at the same time, you're going to pay interest on this money that you have borrowed. But if you have some sort of a savings or a rainy day account, you can use that money, which can take care of your bills until you find another job. You get my point? Now, after saving money for your short-term needs like a car, a house, or a wedding, you need to start thinking now long-term. You need to start thinking long-term goals. Did you know that if you only rely on the returns from your savings, your money is not keeping up with inflation? Now, inflation historically averages about 3%. What that means, of course, is that if you let your money sit in a savings account for several years, it will start evaporating right before your eyes. So when savings for purchases a year or more in the future, you want to move your cash out of the bank and into an investment where your cash can grow. Now the downside of course is risk. If you don't know what you're doing, and even if you know what you're doing, there's a chance that you can lose this money. Now, because of this risk combined with the intimidation factor, most people do nothing. If they have money for midterm goals, they let it rot in a savings account. If they haven't yet saved the money, they spend it instead. Now, what I would do if that was my money is open up a brokerage account and pick one or two low-cost mutual funds that are widely diversified and include a healthy amount of bonds. Now, when it comes to the money I'm going to need later, and usually that is money for retirement, that money belongs in an employer-sponsored plan like a 401k or a 403b and a Roth IRA that is invested in a mix of low-cost mutual funds or ETFs that index the overall markets. Now, investing for the really long term is easy. Choose funds that include stocks and bonds. This is going to factor in your age, because if you are young and you're not going to need this money anytime soon, I would choose mostly stocks over bonds. Make contributions to your accounts every month to take advantage of dollar cost averaging, and don't withdraw money before you retire. So earlier this year, when the markets were tanking due to the pandemic, I was talking to a friend of mine over lunch when he told me he was thinking of cashing out his 401k to put his money under his mattress. So I don't know if he was joking, but one thing I picked up is that he had no faith in the stock market. And there are so many people like that would settle for 1% return or nothing and then putting their money to work. It's easy, of course, to say, hey, look at how crazy stocks have been recently. But when you want the higher returns that comes with investing in stocks, that craziness is what you sign up for. So when you look at my portfolio earlier this year, and I think this was around March, you can see that I was down by, let me see, so I'm around March 23rd, I was down by 19, almost 20%. But then as of today, I'm up by 12%. So that goes to show you how the stocks work. You see, as you can see, the markets always bounce back. In fact, I wish I had more money to invest, because that was a good time to invest. Now, usually markets are going to react either positively or negatively to whatever is going on in the world. Now, as long as the news have nothing to do with the fundamentals of the companies I'm invested in, I don't panic. I mean, it is true that the stock market is a risk, but taking risk is what creates rewards. That is investing, that is business, that's life. Now, the key in managing these risks is don't take wild bets. Don't make short-term trades. Now, buy a mix of widely diversified stocks and bonds and get back to living life. And above all, do your own research before investing your money. So if this tool makes you uncomfortable, there are alternatives to the stock market. You can purchase an investment properties, start your own business, or even lend money to people. But all this still involves risk, and most take more to learn how, time and effort, than picking a few mutual funds. Now, what about you? How do you invest your money? You can leave a comment below and tell me about it. Thanks again for watching another video on how to work smart, save and invest. Hit the like button, consider subscribing for more videos like this, and join the journey. See you in my next video.